In this podcast, I spoke with Lainey Aldridge. She is not only a family friend, but also someone who was a classmate of mine growing up, as well as a teammate of mine on a high school biking team. Whatever you end up listening to of this conversation, I hope you can enjoy. Okay, I muted myself.
I
Did you
love
miss anything
technology.
any important? So,
Um,
how has
you said
biking
how's
changed for you since you were in high school?
okay. Oh God. Uh, biking. Yeah, no, I feel like when we were younger, riding was like our identity because like everyone goes to school. Like we all were kind of raised similarly. So it's like our activities kind of defined us. And so mountain biking was very much like who I was as a person and like a source of pride. So there's a lot of intensity on like being the best and wanting to be really good and I don't know, to like impress myself and to impress other people as well with my writing. And yeah, I feel
So
like
would you say that you
you,
are very competitive?
yeah,
And do you feel that way still now, or less so, or more
no,
so, or no? Okay, so you've become
I think
less competitive
yeah,
since you were in
definitely
high
less
school.
competitive. Yeah, I feel like I like every now and then I'll get like start to get a tinge of like feeling competitive, but then I kind of like tone it down just because I feel like when you're younger, you can kind of be at like the top of your game, at least as a girl. Like the field wasn't that big. So it's like
Mhm.
if you wanted to be national champion, it just didn't seem like that crazy of a thing. Whereas now as an adult to be like national champion, world champion in that field would be
Mhm.
something that's really difficult for me to achieve.
Yeah, but what about like when you're riding with your friends? Are you like playfully competitive with them in that
Oh
sense?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I love being
Yeah.
competitive
Pushing
in that
yourself and
way.
others kind of
Yep.
going. Yeah. That's part of your bike
Yeah,
culture still.
definitely. And I feel like a lot of the people I've been riding with lately like want to get better and like I've seen a lot of growth and I feel like watching them get better is like really fulfilling for me.
What's one
But
way that you are currently either improving or aspiring to improve in your uh bike life?
I feel like I'm not necessarily trying to improve in like speed or capability or anything. Like it's almost the opposite. Like instead of trying to improve, I'm working on being okay, not improving in my writing, which is really strange. But it's
So
like
are you
in
more
me
like
to be
aspiring to have
competitive.
fun? Is that
Yeah.
kind of what?
And to like
Okay.
not, yeah, just to enjoy it and not put pressure on it. I think there's so many ways like you could be like, oh, I'm not improving with speed or like jump capability. Like when I was younger, if I didn't fall once a month, I like
Yeah.
use that as like a metric to recalibrate how hard I was riding. Like if I had no falls within 30 days, it
Really?
meant I needed to go harder on downhills.
Would you like be getting to the end of the month and you would like intentionally make yourself fall just so that you don't have to
No,
do
no, it's just like,
No.
like, okay, Lainey, you haven't been falling, you're not pushing yourself. And it's
Wow.
like, okay, I'm gonna just destroy this downhill right now. And if I fall, I fall, but I'm gonna push myself to the limit. And I don't do that anymore because I'm an
Yeah, it
adult and
hurts to
I
fall, right?
getting injured sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back
And
in the
slower
day,
to
a cast
heal.
was like, yeah, a cast was like, a badge of honor. Whereas now it's just like a unfortunate thing you have to put up with. Like, I don't even know if I could do my job
Yeah,
if I
that
like,
becomes much more problematic
yeah,
as you're an adult.
exactly. It's not as cool anymore.
So biking was more serious and competitive, and now it's more playful and fun, less risky. What about other? It seems like I kind of my projection on you perhaps is wrong. What little I know of you now, but is like that you stay pretty physically active and you make time, you carve out time to get outdoors, go outside. If my projection on you is somewhat correct, what motivates you to like get out there and stay fit and keep exercising? What's your motivating force? Is it something that helps you to have like kind of a better mood in general in your life, or is it to connect with people and maintain relationships? where socializing relationships are important. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's just like inherently in me. Like I don't know how to like separate like how I do things like in my head already. Like so it's Friday night and I'm like, okay, tomorrow morning I have a Friendsgiving thing I'm going to in the evening. And I'm already like, okay, I want to go to like, there's a dirt jump park near the
Mhm.
person's house that the Friendsgiving is at. So I'm like, okay, I could do that in the afternoon, but my dog needs to get out. So I'm either going to do like a hike or a trail run and then maybe the bike park and then Friendsgiving. And then Sunday, I think I could like get a dirt bike session in.
Wow.
And it's just, yeah, like it's what makes me happy, I guess. Like they're just the activities that I love, and being an adult and working, it makes you really value the like fun activities you have in your life and like the activities that make you forget that you're living, like it takes you out of your head and it's just like living in the moment and having fun. And I feel like that's what like growing up, like the bike team was like that, we just meet up and like you're saying like a little bit like, oh, the goal is now just to have fun or to focus on
Mhm.
that. But I feel like I had so much fun, like having the competitive edge to it. And then also
Mhm.
just the fact that we were a group of people meeting up and being outside and being social and like
So let's
it was
talk about
just
this
a
point a little bit more.
blast.
Does getting out there and doing these different sports, is that like a major way for you to connect with other people and socialize? And uh, is that a big part of, or not necessarily?
Yeah, I think so. I've always been like a doer. Like I
Okay.
feel like have friends who like have like similar interests. Like
Hmm.
I have some close friends, but then I spend a lot of my time just doing the activities that I love. And I feel like I make that my focus. And then people who also love those activities, like are oftentimes really cool people and we just hit it off and
Hmm.
it's nice to have like a passion alongside someone else. So like this past weekend camping, it was a girl who I met through a friend who I met through a friend who mountain biked. Like yeah, just super random, but it was her birthday and she was up there with a bunch of girls who mountain bike. And so I went camping with my dog and then we went mountain biking the next day up there with a group of awesome people. And it just kind of, you like build a community in that way. And I'm a big fan of like having, I don't know, I guess the activities kind of take priority. I'm not like, oh, I need to have friends, I need to socialize or be part of this group or that group. It's
Yeah.
just like, I want to do the things that I love. And if
Yeah.
anyone
And you
else is
find other
excited to
people
do
that
those
love those things
things,
too. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm down to hang out and do those things.
So for all the different forms of exercise or movement that you're doing or outdoor activities, is is mountain biking the thing that you're enjoying the most, or is there some other form of exercise or outdoor activity that you're enjoying more than biking? Um, or is there not something that you love the most right now?
I'm not sure. I think it's like for me, it's such a balance of everything that I've been enjoying doing and not just necessarily like outside exercise. Like I appreciate like the mountain biking I've been doing and the group of people who I've been riding with lately. And then also I've been trail running with my dog and he's gonna be 12 next month. So it's like awesome to be able to spend time with my dog and like when we hit the trails together, we just like we're wild, Like he's a little crazy critter and then it makes me
Hmm.
feel like a little crazy critter out on the
Yeah.
trails and yeah, it's just like you're in nature and I also have found like I have coworkers who will come over at my house at like 6 a.m. before work
Wow.
and we'll go on a trail run. And it's just
Nice.
awesome to like find people who are down to do that stuff. But then I also have gotten into like dancing. It's
Okay.
like kind of hokey, but like
Hmm.
line dancing or like country dancing and it's a blast too. So I just kind of try to fill my time in my life like with activities that make me feel good and happy and like not so thinking about the future or the past or even about the present. It's just more about
Hmm.
like not thinking, just being in the moment and living and experiencing things. Like, yeah, like playing music too. I feel like I reached that.
So how did you get interested in music? And uh are do you use, is it kind of like So what's the benefits for you from playing music? Do you feel like it relaxes you, or is it like a good challenge?
Yeah, actually, music has played like a pretty big role in my adult life, I'd say. I feel like to be honest, I don't even remember when I started playing music, um, or even how I got my first guitar.
Hmm.
Like, I feel like it's one of those things, like like same with surfing. I'm like, when did I start surfing? Like, I don't really know. It's just like
Mm.
boards come into your life, guitars come into your life. You like check out chords online, you pick up a few years go by, you pick
Yeah.
up a few more, and then suddenly you can kind of strum along to like a lot of basic things. And
Is it
so
something
I
you
think
like doing
that's,
socially, or you more just do it alone?
yeah, yeah, socially, I think is
And do you
fun.
like
I feel
singing
like,
along too, or not really?
yeah, I do. I think I'm not particularly gifted in the singing department or the guitar
Hmm.
department. So it's like I
Hmm.
love it when I have friends who are talented because they let me
Hmm.
come along and I can just mess around. And I feel like I bring good energy more than any actual musical talent, which is, I think I'm making a good contribution, but it's been so fun. And during COVID, there was a couple of friends, like they were a couple, and I'd go and hang out with them and we'd play music and sing together and it was just a blast. And then also since like college, I've been like just like writing songs, but
Really?
not like full songs, but just like about what's going on in life. And I feel
Do
like
you
it helps
record
me
them and share them
process.
publicly, or do you keep them in a book, or do you record them and keep them in an archive?
I usually send, yeah, I send them to like my closest family and friends who like know what's going on with me. Just like,
I
hey, like
see.
this situation that I've been kind of like ruminating on or talking about. By the way, I made this song and it's like I feel like a lot of them are super cringy or like about
Hmm.
relationships. So it's like, hey, I've been having this problem. Like,
Yeah.
and I made this. And so it's been fun to share in that way because people are like, oh yeah. Like, I don't know, it's just cool to have a product from something you've gone through.
Yeah. Yeah, music can be a really good way for processing life and emotions. Um, it can be a good way of expression. Um, what going back to maybe this could be the last thing we touch on, bringing positive energy, or positive vibe. What's your philosophy on like staying positive and bringing that kind of energy to social situations? Like, do you do you kind of try to maintain just like an overall positive lifestyle, or is it something you have to work on inside of your mind to bring that kind of energy to a situation? What's your approach to bringing positive energy to social situations?
That's kind of interesting because I feel like before when you were asking me about like, am I focusing on like trying to like improve in mountain biking? And I was like, I realized it's actually a struggle for me to not focus on being improvement oriented when it comes to sports and physical capabilities. But then like while that's a struggle for me because I'm like inherently competitive, it's like for
Mhm.
me being positive is the opposite. Like it's hard for me to see another way. Like
Mm.
I guess it might come from like just a place of being like grateful for a lot of things. Like it's
Do
we
you
feel
exert
things as
effort to be
humans.
grateful often, or is it kind of like a natural
No,
habit?
it's just natural. Like, I feel like kind of the bringing positivity into situations is something like the most basic way I can describe it is like as a kid, like even like your family, you and your brother and your dad, like we're all into the same things I was into, mountain biking and trips and concerts. And it was kind of like, wow, I have these people in my life who enjoy the same things I do and are sharing it with me and are open
Mm.
to, yeah, letting me join in what they have going on. And I felt like grateful to have opportunities. And yeah, just like I remember like driving to the races with your family and just sitting in the car
Mm.
and being happy to be in a truck full of kids going to go race
Nice.
bikes and ride all together and just like to be there. I felt really excited and it's just like I felt kind of like, oh yeah, like being positive, like bringing enthusiasm makes such a difference because I feel when
Mm.
people are negative and it kind of makes you sad and brings you down and you want to change people, you want to make them not feel that way, which is probably not healthy either. Like you should just be good in yourself. But I always felt like, yeah, just being positive. I'm super grateful to be where I'm at and what I'm doing. And that, like, that's
Well,
kind of the reason to be positive. Like, just your, even in the sad moments, like if I'm writing a sad song about breaking up with someone that I care about, it's like, well, I'm grateful I had those moments, and I'm grateful that I can even feel like this depth of pain because, like, if
mhm,
it didn't mean anything, I wouldn't be feeling this right now. Like, if I hadn't felt such highs, I wouldn't be feeling
mhm.
such lows either. So it's just kind of like grateful to be able to feel highs and feel lows and to do the things I love. So, in like every moment, I feel like that kind of comes through and brings out positivity. Like I just like being alive, I guess.
That's beautiful. I think that's a good place to end this conversation. Thank you for your time, Lainey. Thank you for answering all of my questions, and hope you have a good night of sleep, and a happy weekend. Good to see your face, good to hear your voice, and again, once more, thank you for your time and for being willing to do this. Thank you for listening to the Blue Cuboid podcast. Please have a nice day.